It's doing its circle and good. We're live! Woohoo!
Good morning.
We got a whole cast this morning. I love it. I love it. So we're getting kind of blown away here in Vegas, just in case any of you other people want to know. But I guess it's pretty cold where you are too, Laura. Is that right?
Yes, we're in the low 50s and it's raining. And so, yeah, it's great for the grass in the garden, but
true.
It's difficult when you
43 here, so you're warmer than we are.
Wow, which is unusual.
It is, but no rain. We just have wind and a big dust thing. So everybody excuse me as my sniffle here this morning. And good morning, Devra, our guest of the morning. Yay.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we are so glad that you are here. And we're going to have a great morning. We always like to give a little bit of time for people to get on.
There.
Oh, is that so your head doesn't fade out?
Yeah. Yeah, my camera's seeing my little white streak. This is the problems of getting old. You can't be on a vid camera.
All these fun things about technology, right?
Yep. So I'll look like a robber instead of a headless horseman.
Even though you're drinking absolutely nothing.
Kathy said she's moving to Las Vegas. Come on, girl.
Yay!
Yeah, but Kathy's only 43 there, so we're actually warmer. Yeah.
That's true. Y'all are warmer, but it's not raining. We could use a little rain. We wouldn't balk at that for sure. So good morning. And I did double check last night when the announcement came out about the show. You know, on Monday nights I send the announcement out. It does say, so anybody who's watching, does say at the bottom to click for your name. There's a little, good morning, Kim. Hey, good to have you. A little down at the bottom of that announcement, it says click here so that Facebook will share your name. And so obviously, Kim, you found it and did that. And Kathy, I know, has known about that for a while. So that's awesome. And all right, so Lisa, you want to fill us in on just some stuff about the raffle and any just business stuff to take care of this morning?
Well, if you comment on when we're doing the word of the week, then you get to be entered into a raffle. When are we having the drawing of the raffle?
At the end of April. So we'll do it the last Tuesday morning of April, or maybe we should do it the 1st of May for April.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we have to do it the 1st of, so we can count everybody.
Okay.
But,
right.
and you get one entry for whether you say one comment or lots of comments. So it's just one entry.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
Typing out
one entry per week, though. So every week.
Yeah.
Every week
so
you have a chance.
So you can get up to four raffle tickets.
Yeah,
and maybe we'll think about if somebody shares the show, we might even add a bonus raffle ticket in or something like that.
Oh, now there's a good idea. Don't you love osmosis? This is an organic thing. It just keeps doing it. And Deborah's going to be donating something this morning. And Allie Porter, she donated I can't remember exactly what it is, but it had to do with abundant thinking and a daily challenge to yourself for abundant thinking. And there'll be a Starbucks gift card. And we'll have to see what else comes up in these next couple of weeks. It's kind of exciting.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So whenever you want to share something, that is always great. We love that. So last week, our word of the week was gardening. And we had a great gardening chit chat, I think. So you have your shirt on.
Life is a garden. Yes.
Oh, there we go. Love that.
Does it count that I was holding my garden down all night?
Yeah, you were like, please, garden, don't go away. Yeah. Yeah, this says life is a garden, dig it. You can't see the
I
love it.
So
That is great. And some of y'all saw on Facebook, I did plant my garden. Y'all got me so inspired that I went and bought a little raised garden that's actually on wheels so I can move it around the yard if I need to.
that you put together yourself, correct? You
yes.
put that together. That's
well, Bill
awesome.
and I did. Bill and I put the thing together and then went and got the plants. He did most of I watered and he did most of it. Well, I mean, it takes two to make everything
I want to
happen.
get your nails dirty.
and we did, and Lisa, we were talking about the ladybugs, and when we were at the store buying the plants, they gave us a free little bag of ladybugs. So we put some ladybugs around. I don't know exactly what they do, but except eat.
They eat things.
They eat
They
things.
eat the nasties. Yes.
So did anybody out there have something you want to share? Did you get inspired? Did you do anything that had to do with gardening last week? Did you think about gardening? Did you do any gardening? Did you go looking at flowers or plants? So if you did, post there in our chat box. So this morning, I love our word. This is so fun having a word of the week because there's so unlimited number of words. And so the guest each week gets to pick the word. So Devra, tell us what you picked, and do you have a reason why?
I picked the word joy because, life's too short not to be full of joy and embrace joy. And regardless of what's going on in life, there's joy in the Lord,
Okay. Sorry, I was reading up there. Yeah, and that's really true. The verse that comes to my mind, well, actually, it's a little praise song, and I know y'all know. The joy of the Lord is my strength. 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 So there you go. There's a Bible verse right there. What I don't know is where it is. I don't know its address. Do one of y'all know its address?
Well,
we're all like, we know
joy. Well, it's several times in Scripture that the joy of the Lord, right? Yeah, and then it's the fruit of the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly the one that particular little chorus comes from, but so let's talk about that. So I'm going to read y'all. I'm not sure that I really love the definition that the dictionary gives, because to me it actually is more than this. The Webster says joy, the emotion evoked by well-being, success, or good fortune, or by prospect of possessing what one desires.
That sounds like a worldly definition.
What does joy mean to you? So Lisa, what about you? What does the word joy mean to you? If we could define it.
I don't know. Joy has always had a spiritual connotation more than a temporal connotation to it. So joy to me is feeling that intermingling of the spirit with the body. I don't know how to describe it any better than that, which is, when you got the fuzzies all over and you're feeling really good from something that happened, or you're just filled with that charitable love or love for family or things like that. I guess being filled to the brim, that's a joy thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's a good definition, but that's what joy means to me. It's more pictures and things like that to me than it is words.
Yeah, I think words are kind of hard to describe it, as a matter of fact, because so much is, but it's more than a feeling. It's like feelings can come and go, but it's more than a feeling. What about you, Laura?
Well, I'm like Lisa. It's a spiritual thing. I attach peace and contentment with that. We talked about the joy of the Lord. You can have the joy no matter what's going on. No matter whether there's a challenge or everything is happy and falling into place of what you want. So yeah, like her, that's a very hard word to define, but the closest I can come is peace and content, regardless of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It seems to me it's more so yes to what y'all said too. It's the same, but trying to even other words to just. Oh, there's a good one, Kathy. Oh,
I
I
love
did
that.
not know that word.
effervescence in the Lord. I love that.
Yes.
That is very cool. It's like it's more to something in your soul, like happy, because a lot of people use happy and joyful
They intertwine it.
exchangeable. But to me, joy is, like you always say, it's more spiritually connected, but it's like that thing in your soul more than an extra, it's like, oh, I'm so happy today. I get to go see my kids, or, the happy seems more, I don't know, external maybe, happy is good, but joyful is like within your soul. So even through the pandemic and the things that happen and the shutting down, you can still have the joy of the Lord. You can still have that joy, no matter what else is going on. Right.
Right.
So Devra, as our guest this morning, I do want to give you a chance to tell a little bit about yourself. We got connected a few years ago through networking, of course, because networking is the way you meet people. Let me just say. I think Kathy would probably agree. I think the thing we hear, either people love networking because they really meet a lot of great people, or they don't love it because they say nothing ever happens and, it's a waste of time, which means to me they just haven't learned how to connect yet. So we need to help them. But Devra and I met through networking, and so it's been so great getting to know her. And so Devra, just tell us a little bit about you, because a lot of our listeners have never met you.
Well, I live in Las Vegas, and we've been here. This year is going to be 4 years. I can remember when I lived here for 4 years. Can you hear me?
Guys, can you hear her?
Yep.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not hearing him much.
Okay, try again, Devra. I wasn't hearing anything you said.
Okay. I live in Las Vegas, and we've lived here almost 40 years. And before that, the longest I'd ever lived any place was 4 years. And so wake up one day and it's 40 years. And we love it here. It's a great place to network and a great place to travel to other places from. I am married. We will be married 50 years this coming December. I have one daughter, one grandson, and two great grandchildren, one on the way. So that's very exciting. And I love to meet people. That's like one of my passions. It's like, a stranger is just a friend I haven't met yet. And so, and I think I really believe that if you're not alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic, and full of joy, then let's figure out what's going on and make that happen in your life.
I love that. Because it is, as Christians, I've always felt, and I think I've said before, when I was growing up, I was around a lot of Christians who were not joyful. It seemed like church was this holier than thou rules and regulations, as opposed to the joy of the Lord and the love of Jesus, So we have that, and as Christians, we can share that a lot. That I would hope that as people see us, that's what they see, and they were like, okay, so what makes him so happy, or what makes him so joyful, or what's going on? That always opens the door, right, to be able to share the message.
Yeah, well, there's a point in my life when being alive, awake, and enthusiastic was a struggle for me. And it kind of led me on a path of health discovery, and what did that look like, and what caused health, what caused disease. And I just learned some things that made me realize that we, the body of Christ, is largely sick and unable to really live with joy. And so I learned what I could to make my life better, and went from, I don't know if you've seen that movie, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. That's how I was in my life. And so I was able to turn my health around, lost 50 pounds. And I want my friends and the people that they love to experience the same thing, because life is far too short not to embrace it and have all the energy to go out and do what it is that you love to do. And so I wrote the book. I wrote a book called Wake the Health Up. And one of my greatest joys is helping people turn their life from laying on the couch to going out and making life joyful. True joy
That's
of the
awesome.
Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. And you particularly, if I understand correctly, you particularly feel called to help Christian leaders who are in ministry, because oftentimes their health holds them back from being able to fully do their calling.
Yeah, I really, God created and gifted and called each of us into kingdom building. And it was true for me and so many people that I love, that the spirit might have been willing, but that body just wasn't cooperating. And so I have a passion to guide and equip Christian leaders to design healthy lifestyle habits, so they have the joy and energy and clarity to go do what it is that God called them to do. Get up off that couch and go do it.
Right. Yeah, like you say, you might really want to and have all these ideas, but if you're if physically you're hindered, that would definitely make a difference. Of course, Dr. Laura, that fits right into your whole mission in life as well, which is why you're the expert gardener. And
well, and as Devra was talking, and one thing you were talking about joy. And my journey becoming a doctor was, I got sick, and then, now I'm segueing to the gardening piece. But it is sad to see Christians that are negative and unhealthy, whether it's your mindset or your what's going on in your body. And that is the biggest piece in my naturopath part that I see is up here. If we realized who we are in Christ, kingdom builders, kids of the King, we could go on and on and on, and realize how much he's blessed us and how much he loves us. Why are we walking around with that negative Nelly or that stinking thinking? Right.
Yeah.
And that's
stinking thinking. I love
it. 90% of illness and disease is your mindset, and you're like, huh. And then, the other part is the food part, but it all works together. Right, Devra?
Yes. It's like, it's hard to separate.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And then, and interestingly, so all three of you, because Lisa as well has had some health challenges through the years, which is what has led her down her path of finding those things that can help you as well. Right, Lisa?
Oh, of course. And I've found that there's many, many things out there that the Lord intended us to do to keep our joy levels up.
Yes.
What would you say, like, for instance? That's a great thought to think about that.
Well, I'm going to dig into the dirt. That being outside is a big booster, right? The dirt is. And we make fun of tree huggers. Hug a tree, walk around in your barefoot. That everything, all the minerals and the way God's designed everything is supposed to boost our spirit.
It is. And everybody needs to own chickens.
Yeah, there you go. I agree.
See how much joy it already brought to everybody.
I know. It's like it does just give everybody that little boost every time you talk about your chickens. It's like it's just such a cute thing when you show me your whole big jar of your
eggs, which is now full.
You teach me how to do chickens.
I can teach you how to do chickens.
We need a course on that.
Chickens are just like Xanax. My husband and I now fight over who gets to go out and open up the door for the chickens. Because you have to feed them. We've got them in a routine, and chickens are very routine. And this is what gives you joy, is all of their silliness and stuff. And yeah. Yeah.
That means something totally different in Las Vegas. Sorry.
Delinda Lane's chicken farm. That would work.
Well, see, for Easter they have those little stuffed little chickies. I could get some little stuffed chickies and put them.
There you go. That would be Delinda's chicken farm. We'll have a comparison chart here.
Yeah.
No, but God did give us many things to have joy, and I think we moved away from them. Some of them.
Yeah.
Even being in community and laughing, laughing is one of they say it's the best medicine, and I think it ranks right up there with being in the dirt. Go play in the dirt someplace. It's good for you.
Yeah. That's such a good point, because remember, during the lockdowns and we were all by ourselves, depression and anxiety went up. Being with each other brings joy, and I don't think we realized that nearly as much until it was taken away.
Right.
Though
I was going to say, though, I had the best gardens ever because I was outside all the time. I had the time. Yeah.
I think, and I was thinking about, Devra did a training in our Fun Fearless the other day about stress and gave this whole big list of ways to relieve stress, which I think also can very easily, the ones that are coming to mind right now, can easily go into that joy piece as well. Because, so like you were saying, the laughing, being here, like just this morning, just us laughing together, as you said, getting out and getting back with people, getting back live wherever you have that opportunity, because we were made for fellowship. We were made for relationship. We weren't intended to just be by ourselves all the time.
Delinda, I know that Devra talks about how health and energy are related. And I'll tell you, when I was tired, I was grumpy. And so, Devra, what suggestions do you have for kicking the energy bug, which seems to be everywhere, pervasive?
Well, I think there's so many things that we can do. And like Dr. Laura said, a lot of it's the mindset. But moving, get up and move. And sometimes it's just moving from the space that you're in to get the train in motion type of thing. Taking time to deep breathe. If you're not feeling well, call somebody else who sometimes people's name will just come to my mind, so I pick up the phone and call them or text them or whatever. So breathing, eating well, I think that's probably the biggest energy booster, is really identify those things that might make you feel energetic for about 5 minutes, and then you want to, crash down into the Grand Canyon after the dive. So really pay attention to those foods that create a crash and burn. Add lots of greens. I prefer to think of things that you can add in instead of take out. So adding in those good, healthy vegetables, and laughter, and breathing deeply, and moving, and getting proper sleep. I think when we pay attention to those things that God built into us, our body innately knows how to do them, then the energy comes with that.
And I think in our society today, there's so much of it's like a badge of honor if you are busy all the time. If you're doing the candle at both ends, so to speak, then man, that is a badge of honor. But the truth is, it is so not, because that's what wears you down, and then your body breaks down and goes into all those other things. It puts such a stress on the body, as well as mentally. And like you said, Lisa, I think it's true, when we get tired, when we get worn out, if we would just listen to our body, it's telling us that we're tired, like go take a nap. It's okay. It's not a sin in the world to go take a nap. Go to bed early a couple of nights. Maybe that's what you need. But I think
the highest form of self-love, when you take care of your body.
Yeah. Well, and I often heard that, just push yourself. Just, I'd say something like, oh man, I can't get to, I just push past being sick, or I just push past feeling tired. I did that for a very long time. And that's one of the things that ended me up in the hospital one time, was taking that type of advice. So yeah, Devra has a very good point, that self-love.
Yeah.
There was a point in my life. I'm sorry. There was a point in my life when I was burning the candle at both ends, and someone pointed out I wasn't as bright as I thought I was.
It's good.
I love that. Yeah, just
Yeah.
that thing, yeah, that
Well,
we do to ourselves, right?
Stress, of course, like Devra talked about, is a biggie. I mean, it attacks your adrenals, and your adrenals are a kingpin into a lot of different illnesses and diseases. And like she said, rest is this probably, wouldn't you say, probably one of the most important pieces in all of that, because we have to regenerate the body. And if you don't give it that time to regenerate, like,
I used to think
like
it was
we'll be pushing
stay up to
through.
1 o'clock in the morning. Ugh. No bueno.
I'm notorious for staying up late. Yeah, but I wake up the same time every day. Yeah. So
whether you go to bed early or late, you wake up the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
I know, you would think.
But I've conditioned myself. Yeah. It's conditioning. Well, and that could be it's the mindset, the conditioning of like we're all saying, is creating those good habits.
Yeah, but you know what? Also, when the body has what it needs, it wakes you up. It works on a clock. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
That whole rhythm, right? Chickens help you keep a rhythm, right?
You know what's funny is I and Delinda and the audience knows this, that I'm not a morning person. I don't wake up at the same time every morning, so I'm not like Dr. Laura. But the thing is that that when I started having homemade chicken eggs, that actually changed my clock to earlier. So now I do wake up pretty much every morning, no matter what time I go to bed, at 7:30, not necessarily 5 o'clock in the morning, but yeah, that just changing and getting rid of store-bought eggs helped my body's, whatever chemistry cycles, not having the stuff in it that store-bought eggs have. So just that one adjustment made a huge difference.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was wild, because that was the only thing that changed. I hadn't actually gotten my garden in gear yet, so.
It was kind of reminder about baby steps, right? Just taking one little step at a time.
Yeah, it's why I love that book called Consistency. He talks about just pick something and continue to do it.
Just pick something. Let's start there. Just pick something.
Yeah. Eating that elephant bite by bite.
Well, and I was going to say, whoever they say after 21 days, you can set that pattern. You can set it, but you have to do it for 21 days consistently.
I think 21 days, I'd say they're a liar, but it does take, depending on that thing, it's that, keep doing it until you have to do it every day, until the amygdala starts to record it.
Until it catches on.
Do it until it's no longer something that you think about, but you just automatically do it. And I've heard it's to get to that point is 66 days. To make it so that you no longer think of it.
Yeah, let's see. I think it's 40 days, because I think 40 days is such a powerful number in the Bible.
Whatever works for you.
I used to be a person that if I was going to do something, I would just stop whatever or start it like boom, and just give up everything. Yeah, I can't do that anymore. The older I get, the more I'm like, yeah.
But it certainly is easier to do one thing at a time. And I think probably you start, it's funny that New Year. And again, when I was young, okay, so you're going to start your exercise plan, and you're going to start eating only organic, blah, 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 or you're going to do this. And you have this list of all this fabulous things that's going to change your world, right? Which it would if one could actually do it all at one time on a consistent basis. But wouldn't it be better to get to the end of the year? And man, every day I drank my 3 bottles of water. And every day this year I got up and I did my Bible readings. And every day I actually did do my 15-minute walk or something. My life, or anybody's life, I think, if you just gradually add in that one thing, your life will be different at the end of the year, or at the end of whatever time schedule that you've put, so it's kind of interesting. so some other thoughts on joy, all of these, because and the reason that the health comes into this is because how can you, the joy of the Lord, the joy that you have will always be there. I think part of it is recognizing it. I think his joy is in our hearts. But when we get overly tired, when we are ill, it's harder to sense it maybe, or be as aware of it, because we're dealing with all the other negative things that are happening, around. But I think it will always lead back to paying attention to it and being grateful and just really realizing it. The other verse that I just love, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Like, let's wake up day, right?
And I think the other one keeps coming to my mind, Dr. Laura, right now, is when you trust and obey.
Yep.
That I think joy
you just dropped that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Devra and I were talking yesterday, and she was talking about how the body is the temple. And if the temple's intended to do certain things, you got to keep it up and running and cleaned and maintenance so that you can do what you need to do. And so I think that's a cool way to look at it. Remember, one of the reason I said that is, long story short here, is that from what I said at the beginning, which was that when we're filled with the Spirit, we feel that joy. So having that temple prepped to be filled with that Spirit, I think so a great way to bring joy back into our life.
On that, and I'll bounce off of that with, we read our Bible, and it says in there, the renewing of your mind that transforms you. But you have to stay in it, like everything. It would be nice if we could just, through osmosis, just be. But yeah, it's the renewing, that consistency.
Yeah.
And that, let's just face it, for many of us, it's the consistency factor that is often what we don't follow through on, or we're not as consistent, whether it's the health plan, the eating plan, the whatever that is that we put in place. And I'd say too, so how about if we don't beat up on ourselves? And so, I didn't get my whatever done yesterday, or man, I didn't do whatever it was all last week, but today's a brand new day. Grateful to be alive, and I can do it today. Doesn't matter what happened last week or last month or the last 3 months. We can all begin each day fresh.
So Lamentations 3:23, the anti-self-beating.
Yeah.
For those who.
What was that, Lisa?
I said Lamentations 3:23. I said it's the anti-self-beating verse. My mercies are new every day.
Every day.
I like the title on that, the anti-self-beating.
I know. I like that. That is good.
That's a power of gratitude also, right? Just every
Isn't it?
single day, instead of using the bat to beat yourself up, to shit on yourself, is to find one little thing, even if it's one little thing, to be grateful for and express that gratitude.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
that's
that
the
changes
one
your mind. That does put your mind in a different place.
The one thing. Oh, sorry. I was going to say the one thing that has held me through that it's like I've been a Christian for a long time, but it really, with the pandemic and everything, you really see what you are made of, what others are made of. But it was, God's got it. He's in control. I can't do anything about anything that's going on. So it's almost like a why care, because what can we do? All we're responsible for is our response.
Yep.
Exactly. And there is a lot of, I don't know if this is the right word, but a lot of peace that comes from that when you realize that, God is God and I am not. And he's got it.
Yeah. Doesn't the scripture say he's before us? He goes before us. He's beside us. He carries us. He knows everything that's going to happen. He knows what you're going to do. He knows what he's going to do to make it go this way. I mean, all we have to do is show up. I kind of like that.
And walk in faith.
Yeah. Faith, trust, fear not. And then the Lamentations, all of that, I mean, it's all there. But of course, we're still doing this.
And
Yeah. Well, we don't like, there's a YouTube video of a little girl who's getting her seatbelt on, and her dad asks, "Do you want some help?" And she goes, "No, no, thank you. You drive." And then she goes, "No, you drive." And then she sits there for a half an hour trying to buckle her seat. You sure you don't want any help? No, 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 thank you. And it's like I'm always think of myself as that little girl in that seat, and I'm trying to get something done, and God's like, "Do you want any help?" No, no, thank you.
I might have to look that up. That sounds cute.
You drive.
You drive.
Like the person out in the ocean and the boat comes by and they're like, "Yeah, see ya," and then somebody else comes by,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
That is
worried
one
about.
of my favorite stories for that. It's like God's always going to send us something and give us a way, but do we pay attention enough to notice it or to see it? So, well, we are up to the top of our hour. We've given ourselves permission to go a little over the hour now. Like I said, I have to do those kind of games with myself. So when Lisa and I had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, I said, "Well, okay." She said, "Well, why don't we just plan to go a little over after, and then we don't have to worry about it?" And I said, "Oh, well, there's a good idea." So it's kind of perfect. I love that.
And it looks like it brings you much joy to do that.
I don't know. I have to play games with my head to do some of the things I'm just like, okay, just release it, Delinda. Give yourself permission to go 10 minutes over.
He's
So
got
now we're
it.
not 10 minutes over. We're right in time. See? You got it. Absolutely. All right. Last minute thoughts. Devra, first of all, thank you. Thank you for being here, y'all. She is going to put a copy of her book in the raffle drawing. So you may be the lucky person. Those of you who did comments this morning. Anything you'd like to share with us before we close it up here?
I just thank you so much for inviting me. I love each and every one of you, and just hanging out with you and experiencing the joy of life with each of you. So I would say to anybody out there, go find something that fills you up and go do that, starting with Jesus.
There you go. Beautiful. Laura.
Thank you, Devra, for the reminder on the joy, and I'll just parrot myself again. God's got it. He's in control. Enjoy what little life we have left. I mean, life is a vapor, so enjoy it. Be free in His freedom. So,
Amen.
Love it. Okay, Lisa.
All right. For those who are self-flagellating, and we all have been there at times, give yourself permission to be happy.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah. When Jesus was asked the greatest commandment, he says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind." And the second is like unto it, love your neighbor as yourself. So he wants us to love ourselves, who he created us to be. And I think when we do that, the other thing, the joy fills up, all of the abundance comes, all of those things that he wants for us is there, but we have to take care of ourselves. I think that's his message to us as well. So, all righty. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank y'all for being on the show. If you're watching now, if you're watching later today, we're so glad that you tuned in. Every Tuesday morning, we're here. We will have another guest next week. I can't remember who it is right at this moment, but tune in because you never know. It's always somebody fun, always something great happening here. So remember, my friends, that life is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Choose wisely. And as Lisa said, choose to be happy. Go out and have a joyful week. And I think that's probably all you need to do. Choose to be happy. All right. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. And we'll see you next week.